Alright, man. Close this door. Friday night fight, Sergio Mora versus Bryan Vera. That was a good fight, man. That was a real good fight. Friday night fights be having some good fights. They've been known for that in the past, and tonight was a good one. It turned out into an all-out war, especially the last two rounds. I felt both fighters went out there and they gave it they all. It was my heart said Sergio Mora won, man. I wanted him to win it. My heart went with Sergio Mora, but in the back of my head, I knew Bryan Vera might have won this fight more than likely. But nevertheless, one thing I want to say about Sergio Mora, he gets criticized. He's got that contender thing, which is like a ghost of the past that always follows him. He never seems to get respect. But here's a guy that I will say he's a pretty decent boxer. His problem is he doesn't have a lot of power. Sergio Mora doesn't have a lot of power. If Sergio Mora had some kind of power, man, I think he would be a problem. He would have a lot more knockouts on his resume than just 6. And he'd be more of a threat. But for the fact that he doesn't have much power, but he has decent speed, and he has good reflexes. He knows how to make you miss. He knows how to use angles and use the ring. I like Sergio Mora as a boxer. I think he's a decent fighter, man. I feel sorry for him tonight, man. I really do that he lost this fight to Bryan Vera. Bryan Vera is a good pressure fighter too, man. He's one of them guys. Don't be fooled by his record. I think he's got like 5 losses. Don't be fooled by his record, man. He's a good pressure fighter. He's one of them guys. You look at his record and you go, "Oh, he ain't shit. He's a stepping stone. He's a walkover." No, he's a guy that you can't take lightly. That's what when I heard Sergio Mora was fighting Bryan Vera, I was like, damn. On Friday, if he was fighting Bryan Vera on HBO or Showtime, then it's okay to get a draw or lose some. Fighting him on Friday night fights, that doesn't look good on your resume. Anytime a guy that's been with top level opposition and you go on Friday night fights and you lose, that doesn't look good on your resume. Not that you can't bounce back from that, but I mean, Sergio Moore is 31 years old. I know how this sport goes. I'm sure y'all know how it goes. I just feel sorry for Sergio Mora, man. I don't know really where he's gonna go from here, but you gotta have faith, man. You gotta have faith sometimes. That's what takes you places. If you have a belief in something higher, But I thought he fought. Every time Sergio Mora comes to fight, he comes to fight, man. I think this guy, yes, against Shane Mosley, I was upset with him because he kept holding Shane Mosley mostly, but he did what he had to do. I mean, Shane Mosley's a powerful man. Shane Mosley has a lot of power. Shane Mosley, I truly believe, man, anybody from light heavyweight down, he can knock out. Period. I really believe that. I mean it when I say that. Shane Mosley, anybody from light heavyweight down, if he catches them clean with one of his best shots, he can knock them out. Yes, a light heavyweight. Yes. Maybe not all light heavyweights, but some out there, a lot of them out there, Shane Mosley can knock them out. Moore obviously felt his power in that fight, and he tied him up a lot. He did what he had to do to win the fight. Obviously he got a draw. That fight was, the styles in the match. Shane was trying to, get to the inside. Moore didn't want to let him. Kind of like Devin Alexander and Timothy Bradley. But hey, Moore is tough, man. He's only been down twice in his whole career on the canvas. He's never been knocked out. He always comes to fight. He always gives it all. He lost the first time to Vernon Forrest. The second time he was able to get a win. I like Sergio Mora, man, and I'm going to give him his credit where credit's due. He's a good fighter. I think Sergio Mora, his record's deceiving. His style of fighting's deceiving. When I say deceiving, he reminds me a lot of Mickey Ward. He's a guy that people look at over as a stepping stone or like he won't get nowhere, but I feel he's a lot better than what we've seen or what his record says. I feel Sergio Mora is a lot better, man. He just reminds me of Mickey Ward. He's one of them guys that might be in there with a guy you never heard of in Bryan Vera, but he could also be in there with Alfredo Angulo and give him hell. He could also be in there with Miguel Cotto and give him hell. But he could be with a no-name and also the fight's a tough fight for him, but he finds a way to win it. You know what I'm saying? He's just one of them guys like Mickey Ward, when he was in there with low-class opponents or high-class opponents, he still had to weather the storm, but he was able to pull out a win sometimes. And that's what I think of Sergio Mora. He put on a good fight tonight, man. It's a shame that he didn't, they didn't give it to him, But Bryan Vera definitely earned that fight. That was a close fight. Like I said, my heart went with Mora, but I knew in the back of my head, Bryan Vera might have won this fight. But, I don't know. It was a good fight, though. Good fight.